Cortèges of immigrations. In this rather we'll enter already the diagram of the clear and used, and it is already a plan for the used cortèges. In this case of the earth, for everything that has to emigrate of the same one, and this cortège is based on the emigration laws and immigrations of everything that has to leave or to enter of the planet. So this type of cortèges is one of the longest for the delay list or of weight, according to the given calculations, to be transformed in weight routes. So it discards of cortèges. It is the type of cortèges that is needed to conjugate, to toss the remains toward the basket of the one it discards. For this cortège type, it can be very scarce or very abundant, according to the same abundance of the place. To emigrate can be taken as to live or to be robbed. So in this, that to live is being robbed of all that has not been come to have needed to cultivate in a certain planet, so that it is also known that spirit, souls, or minds are further on those that have to be emigrated, that they want it or they don't want it. Be either people, digits, animal, or things, because in this it is to know that all the things are the things. So in this all summary commitment, it can be the least plane of the vapors of the soul. As a level of the same alarm, it is in this the immigration of those souls. Many cannot write to know when it is that they will be transferred or emigrating, or it is that they will be able to make it, for they have settled down in diverse plans in which had put on parts and against parts, where everything follows a circuit of compensation of function. So in this, what subtracted, what affects some ones, we put them favorably means then, so that some can stay more than what is required to them in the earth, and others they have to leave it in immediately way. This cortège type comes to take the steps of immigrations. That is to say, with those steps, it is as a passport of galactic destination, where it is now that nobody can survive in the black space being matter. Let's be in mind. So this cortège type brings great part of that matter or in that mind like a way of rest to the options that who are transferred with, say, to the earth, they don't have inside the being's potential free will. It is at least it can ramify to the essence of its substance. So this is also part of the immigration for what it is that the same what is expressed, and already in this and already for this it is that from Mars they have taken all the parts in reluctance of use, when nobody wanted to make use or what has not been given. The sowers, that say those that have been cut this way, they don't already have more time of sowing. In this type of system, unless if they have always been invisible, it is perhaps part in premonition way that cannot be stopped. It could be contained rather inside a single fruit, a simple air for fruit and dedication as the fruit of food that it nurtures, but that doesn't deceive the sense. This cartoon knows it, and it will be this way. Now that if a sour, it has taken out of his fruit the part of his fruit, not for it the fruit will request it or to show it. That is to say, it is better that if some have not never know that they are sour themselves, it is already late to be arrived to know it. And if they have taken out the fruit or of the fruit, that they didn't show the part that they didn't belong to them, and although it was it, they won't be able to be emigrated, and they will stay here until the new beginning of another lost sowing time. Inside the animal species or of the animal monster or animals of the nature, as soon as it refers to the common binary dogs, they are part of a mutation of the gene toward immigration, because the same ones absolutely all will be immigrated. That is to say, there will be talendric, and that talendric way is a scientific part of the chart of use of this cortege, and in this, although all know the mechanism of these animals, they also know the human mechanism, but in this certain fingerings, they have been left this setting of control support. For well, with the arrival of this type of corteges, these animals will be then before turning traded and then emigrating. And in these genetic levels to have an account, like a departure situation for what to belong together, someone's in the same fact of migrating. The dog are and they had been a cortege, but no in point an immigration cortege, but rather they will be it in the future, but according to certain circumstances of the gene, that gene is part of an instantaneous robotic, the one that counts like part of the same discount that one makes to a race, for the fact of having not survived in this system from the same cover or from the same certain of what had been expected from this system, where one could say that the dog, it has constituted its essential part to the measure that had been required of its gene. Therefore, when its final state as race ends up being completed in the gene, it can emigrate him. This is as understanding that the coverage with the gene is something called the square of Belmert. All the parts are in this quadrant or square of Belmert. Yet in certain planet this being has completed and crowned, without forgetting that to crown is to complete completely in conscience and to finish it and to really seal it and to dogmatize it. For it inside the species of survival and use until the service of the borrowed dog to the man. It can be correlative to the service of the borrowed man to the dog. But if a type of cortege of this light or heavy level arrives, until it will be said that the dog should study together with you, as so that some are compared or even to his genetic intellectual coefficient. To say that the dogs, it is alone as to say it, as well as can make it with another animals, as also if it is that inside this context it is the same man and animal, since it is not it that will take to another circumstances for the men, where until they could be blended with the women as races turned or confirmed by oneself genetic pattern, that it has not still been checked more than until the new generation, that will be the one that will be expressed after about 2020. As for the generations that giving birth to the base like to be born, one can find that to give birth of the base to arrive to their immigration system before the one immigration of your function inside the planet with its same substance such that emigrate. This will be knowing the same for the why certain circumstances are not for emigrating, as well as to engender reviving already for the concave spaces, that is to say, it is a state of time, concave, this need of the genetic basic interest of the generations, that then this cortege has a better expression and that certain didactic parts are the best in agreed of the small thought to arrive to the big thought of the state of the gene.